Hello and welcome to my new video which is based on the complex numbers. So firstly we are going to start with the definition of complex numbers. Let's see. Complex numbers are those numbers which are imaginary. What do you mean by this imaginary numbers? This is a general form of a complex numbers denoted by Z, where A part is the real part, real numbers having rational or irrational numbers, whereas B part is your imaginary part. As you know very well that root of negatives is not defined in real mathematics, but in complex part it is denoted by iota. What is it? Iota. Okay. So if you're squaring both sides, what will you get? -1 as iota square. Whenever you do iota raised to power 4n, let us suppose n is 1, so then iota raised to power 4 is 1. Why is it? Because iota square is -1 and the even part of this -1 is always 1, whereas odd part of it is -1. Is it okay? Positive 1 and -1. Now let's see, there are two terms, modulus and argument. Argument is also known as amplitude. So modulus of any complex number of the form a plus iota b can be given by square root of real part square and addition of square of the real with the square of imaginary. Okay, let us suppose your complex form, your standard complex form is 2 plus 3 iota. Then your modulus for this is 2 square plus 3 square whole over root, which is 4 and 9 root 13. Okay, very simple. And then it comes to argument and amplitude. Argument and amplitude is the angle formed, this is the Cartesian plane, where this is the positive x-axis, this is negative x-axis, positive y-axis, negative y-axis. Let us suppose we have a point on this Cartesian plane having coordinates a and b. This is the argand plane actually, where we have to show graphically the position of our standard complex form. For this 2 plus 3 iota, the argand plane shows 2, 3 point. Okay, 2, 3 point. Right? Now, let us suppose this is origin O, this distance is R, this distance is A, and this distance is B. Okay? So, R becomes hypotenuse square is equals to perpendicular square plus base square. So R becomes a square plus b square. This is the modulus or magnitude of this particular point, coordinate point. Okay? Where we have read it earlier. Now, we are going to study about the amplitude, which is the angle formed anti-clockwise by this line of magnitude by x-axis. So this, let us suppose this is theta, then tan theta is given by perpendicular upon base, that means b by a. So theta becomes tan inverse of b by a. So whenever you have to find out the angle formed by a coordinate, then what you have to do? Tan inverse of imaginary part by real part. Okay? There is another form which is called polar form. How can you justify it? A polar form is the representation of these coordinates in the terms of sine and cos angles. The standard polar form of any complex number is given by magnitude, modulus of cos theta and sine theta. This cos theta plus iota sine theta can also be written as this cis theta. C for cos plus iota sine theta. Okay, in short form. So how can you evaluate or transform any complex number into this polar form? Let us suppose we have an example 1 plus root 3 iota, and now you have to transformulate it into the polar form. Then what you have to do, you have to just compare this main question part with our standardized polar form, and if you open it, if you expand it, then what is your real part? R cos theta, and here in your question, real part is 1. So on comparing, r cos theta is 1, whereas iota is cancelled with iota. R sin theta is root 3. Now your next step is, you have to assume these two equations as 1 and 2 and just do squaring and adding both sides. So square of this, r square cos square theta, then adding plus r square sin square theta. Same on right side, 1 square is 1, root 3 square is 3. If you take r square is common, then cos square theta plus sin square theta comes out to be 1. So your modulus becomes 2. This actually r is equals to plus minus 2 on solving, but it is a magnitude, so that's why we have to take it in positive form. So here we go, we have amplitude. Now it's done, we have already found out this. Now we have to find out this theta. So as we read earlier, that we have to find theta amplitude by 10. So how can we eliminate 10 from here? By doing second by first. If you divide first by from second, r is cancelled out with r, sine upon cos is 10 and root 3 by 1. So as you very well know, this root 3 is 10, 60, 10 is cancelled out, theta becomes pi by 3. So your polar form becomes r, which is your 2, cos theta, which is your pi by 3, plus iota sine pi by 3. I hope you understand. So this is how we can evaluate any complex number into the polar form. Rest of the topic we'll discuss in our next class or next video. Till then, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.